thing that I'm like a little bit concerned about is how often Ari McDonald is being seen, around Fever circles. I'm like, damn, I don't want Ari McDonald back. But at the end of the day, they can. But obviously, Aaliyah Boston has posted about the full Fever team.
Caitlin Clark spotted in Miami 2 weeks before Team USA camp officially starts. Aaliyah Boston posting Instagram stories with the entire Fever roster gathered in Florida. KK Timpson, Lexie Hull, the coaching staff, everyone's there early. And immediately, people started asking the obvious question, what are they doing there so far ahead of schedule? Because this isn't just a casual vacation. This is the Fever's core getting together voluntarily, weeks before they have to. And that tells you something about where this team's headed.
Not there. Like, the feel for KK is the difference between KK being attitude seems to be perfect. Athleticism, S tier. Ability, shot blocking ability, elite. Offensive rebounding, elite. Free throw shooting, solid. Finishing, very solid. Like, everything tangible KK Tim should be great. For me,
look at that roster breakdown. It's basically an unrivaled reunion happening in Miami right now. The entire Fever core that played together, competed together, built chemistry during the WNBA season, they're all converging in the same city at the same time. And here's what makes it significant. Breanna Stewart's doing the camp too. She's using it to get 5-on-5 run before heading to play for Fenerbahce in Europe. So you've got legitimate competition showing up, not just developmental players going through the motions.
A lot more, not higher on it because I don't want Lexie Hull to leave Fever, but I was a bit more convinced Lexie Hull was leaving the Fever when it looked like in Unrivaled she was like going to put up 10 points a game. The Rose are going to be good. The Rose are a 500 team, and Lexie Hull is literally the lowest in points per game of all players in Unrivaled. She's last. So like nobody's giving her a huge contract. 500k a year, sure. And then like I don't think Sophie or Ari.
But there's one player in those Miami photos that raises questions. KK Timpson. And this is where we need to talk honestly about her development trajectory. Last season, everyone was high on KK coming out of Iowa, elite athleticism, solid shooting form, defensive potential, offensive rebounding instincts. All the tangible skills looked promising. But watching her play in Prague this offseason, something became clear. The intangibles aren't there yet. The feel for the game, the decision-making in real time, reading defenses, those skills haven't developed at the rate her physical tools suggested they would.
Because they're the only players that aren't unrestricted free agents. And because I think they're going to protect KK. If they lose KK Timpson if they don't protect her, and I actually, because the contracts all come up to the rookie minimum, I actually don't care if we lose KK. I thought, because originally they were going to say rookies were on their original rookie contracts, and I was like, man, 3 more years of KK for free. But I'm like, KK on a rookie minimum when you can get like a Stolke or a Vance Luton in the second round instead of KK. I'm like, I think I'm okay with losing KK.
And here's the uncomfortable reality the Fever are facing with the expansion draft looming. They can only protect 6 players. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Lexie Hull, those are locks. But KK Timpson, the calculus just changed. Originally, if rookies kept their full contracts through the expansion draft, keeping KK on that cheap rookie deal for 3 more years made sense. But now that expansion draft picks reset to rookie minimum contracts, losing KK doesn't hurt as much financially. You could grab someone like Stokely or Van Lith in the second round of the next draft and get similar production at the same price point.
Instead, you've got a very, very solid group of players here, and with obviously Caitlin Clark meeting up with the Fever players, there seems like the bond is still there, and that's one of the things the Fever had that other teams don't. Like, everyone jokes about it, and I'm like, the power of friendship, talking about the power of friendship, but like it was a thing.
The likely scenario? Indiana loses Chloe Bibby and Christy Wallace in the expansion draft. They're the only players not on restricted contracts that the Fever won't protect. Unless there's a genuine concern about losing KK to Golden State or Toronto, and right now with her unrivaled performance being the lowest scoring output in the entire league, that concern isn't keeping anyone up at night. No team's offering her a massive contract based on what she showed this year.
Like, it is a thing, yes. Teams can win if their players don't like each other as professional sports teams. Everyone knows that. But it helps if teams like each other. It helps. especially with all those injuries. Like, if the Indiana Fever did not have, like, if their whole team were not on, if they didn't like each other so much and they weren't playing for each other, like, the Fever were donezo.
But here's what that Miami gathering really represents, and why it matters more than any individual roster decision: team chemistry. And before you roll your eyes at the power of friendship narrative, understand this: the Fever don't win 20 games last season without it. They don't come back from 20 down against Connecticut. They don't beat the Dream in the playoffs. They don't survive that stretch where half the roster was injured and they were playing with 7 healthy bodies. Chemistry kept them competitive when talent alone would have had them losing by 30 every night.
And the team's going to be broke up in some way. I don't think the team has the talent to run it back. Unpopular opinion, I don't think this team, if they run it back, has the talent. Because I think there's going to be, I think everyone being a free agent is going to form a super team. I don't know where it's going to be, but I think there's going to be a super team formed. Like, I have this scary feeling it could be in Dallas. But I still don't think Dallas are going to be ready.
And that's what makes this offseason so precarious for Indiana, because the team is getting broken up somehow. It has to. The reality of the WNBA free agency landscape this year is unprecedented. Nearly every star player hits free agency simultaneously, and someone somewhere is forming a super team. Whether it's Dallas trying to reunite former teammates or another franchise making a massive push, the dominoes are going to fall fast, and the Fever, as currently constructed, don't have the pure talent to compete with a legitimate super team.
Scenario. But, yeah, hopefully the Fever can keep the players together and make an upgrade. Heck, you know what? If the Fever just make an upgrade on Natasha Hara at the power forward position and just upgrade their bench, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Get a bit more depth and a healthy Caitlin Clark, who is still, by the way, the favorite to win MVP.
So here's what Indiana needs to do to stay competitive. Upgrade the power forward position beyond Natasha Mack. Add legitimate bench depth that can contribute in playoff games. And most importantly, get a healthy Caitlin Clark for a full season. Because she's still the betting favorite to win MVP next year, sitting at minus 520 odds. And that's not hype. Minus that's acknowledgement of what she did as a rookie while dealing with a torn meniscus and the most physical defensive attention any guards received in years. A healthy Clark with better supporting pieces around her changes everything.
If the Wings finish in the top 10, the Wings don't even need to make the playoffs and Paige might win MVP. Like, if Paige wins Unrivaled MVP, it has made a mockery of the league. Like, Aaliyah Boston, Chelsea Gray and Paige's teams are 500. Aaliyah Boston should be, or Kelsey Plum, or fuck it. To be fair, it's hard to give MVP to a Laces player because they've all been balling. Everyone's been balling on the Laces. But, like, if Aaliyah Boston or Kelsey Plum aren't MVP of Unrivaled, it's fucking...
Let's talk about what MVP odds really mean in context. Arike Ogunbowale is currently 5th at plus 520 for next season. And that's absurd if you actually watch Unrivaled right now. If the Dallas Wings finish with a top 10 record next year, they don't even need to make the playoffs. And Paige Buchers wins Unrivaled MVP, there's a genuine scenario where Buchers wins WNBA MVP without her team being playoff relevant. That would be a complete mockery of the award's credibility. Look at what's happening in Unrivaled right now. Aaliyah Boston and Chelsea Gray are leading their teams to .500 records while putting up dominant performances. Kelsey Plum is balling out for the Laces, and yet Buchers, whose team is also .500, is somehow the MVP frontrunner in Unrivaled. The entire Laces roster is contributing at a high level, which actually makes it harder to give MVP to any single player there. But if Aaliyah Boston or Kelsey Plum don't win Unrivaled MVP, that league's voting is rigged, period. But back to the Fever's situation. That Miami gathering represents something crucial. This team still wants to play together. They're not going through the motions waiting for free agency. They're not treating this like a farewell tour. They're voluntarily showing up early to work together, which means they believe in what they're building. And in a league where player movement is about to go crazy, that continuity matters. The question is whether continuity is enough. Can the Fever run it back with mostly the same roster and compete for a championship? The honest answer is probably not. They need upgrades. They need to get better at the margins while keeping the core intact. And they need to hope that whatever super team forms doesn't land in their division. Because here's the reality. If the Fever can upgrade their starting power forward spot, add 2 legitimate rotation players off the bench, and get a fully healthy Caitlin Clark for 82 games, they're a top 4 seed. They're a legitimate championship contender. But if they run it back with the exact same roster, relying solely on natural development and chemistry, they're a fringe playoff team hoping to get hot at the right time. And that's what makes these next few months so critical. Free agency is going to reshape the entire league. The expansion draft is going to force difficult decisions, and the Fever need to navigate both without losing what made them special last year: that chemistry, that belief in each other, that willingness to fight through adversity together. So when you see Caitlin Clark in Miami 2 weeks early, working out with Aaliyah Boston and Lexie Hull voluntarily, that's not just off-season training. That's a statement. That's a team saying, we're not done yet. We're not satisfied with a first-round playoff exit. We're coming back better, stronger, more prepared. And if they can add the right pieces around that core, if they can stay healthy, if they can maintain that chemistry while upgrading the talent, the Fever are going to be a problem next season. The league better be paying attention, because that gathering in Miami, that's not a vacation. That's preparation for a championship run.